Hi BookTube, it's Chelsea the Reading Outlaw here to bring you a giant library loot. I have not done a library loot in a while. I have been kind of slowly amassing them and collecting them, and I just had a huge group of holds that I had been waiting for come in, so I'm going to go ahead and show you guys what I've got from the library recently. There's a lot, so I'm actually going to split this into two videos. This part obviously is part one that you're watching now, and part two will be up in a couple of days. There's not really a rhyme or reason to the two parts or what's going into what part. I literally just have them all in a giant bag over here. So I'm just going to start pulling them out and showing you guys what I got. First on the top of the bag is Ringworld by Larry Niven. I read somewhere that this is one of Will Wheaton's favorite fantasy worlds, or one of the most complex fantasy worlds that he's ever read. So that was enough of a selling point for me. I don't know anything else about it, but my library had the first one in the series, so I figured why not jump in and give it a go. Next up in the bag is a book that I'm very excited to get to. It is A Little Life by Yanagihara. I believe that's how you say it. I have heard nothing but great things about this book. I have heard that it is absolutely devastating. It is about four boys who are roommates in college, and it follows them throughout their lives as they grow and separate and get back together, and how their friendship develops. I've heard that it will absolutely wreck you. It's been touted as one of the best books of 2015 by several people who I trust. It's huge, and because it's supposed to be such a heartbreaker, I'm not entirely sure when I'm going to have the fortitude emotionally to jump into it, but I'm still really excited to do so. Also, sorry, I'm kind of trying to keep organized as I'm also doing this. Next up is My Grandfather Would Have Shot Me. A black woman discovers her family's Nazi past. I first heard about this, I believe, from Franzen Comes Alive, which is Liberty Hardy's tiny letter, which I will link to down below if you want to subscribe. She sends ones out every week, and it's just full of new books that have come out that week and cool bookish news and stories and things to be aware of on the internet. This is exactly what it sounds like, basically. A black woman does a little bit of family digging and discovers that her grandfather and her past relatives were Nazis, and obviously would have had problems with her skin color because of that. So it's her grappling with that fact and that idea and what that means, because it's still family, and what it means for her identity today and her relationship with their past and all of these great things. It's a tiny little book, and it sounds really interesting, so I'm really excited to get into that one when I have a break in my calendar for some nonfiction. I've also got another book that I've seen touted quite highly on Caitlin's channel and in a couple of other places. It is A Natural History of Dragons, a memoir by Lady Trent by Marie Brennan, which, first of all, this book gets all the awards for the cover. And it is essentially a kind of anthropological fictional diary written by Lady Trent about dragons and about her interaction with dragons. She's a lady scientist at a time when dragons are something that are studied. I thought that there are pictures or illustrations in the book. She's kind of like I said, it's like an anthropological diary that she's keeping. The second one is out, and I believe there's a third one on the way, and I've just heard really good things about it. It's been a while since I've read a natural history, or even a fictional natural history, so I'm a little wary as far as that goes, but like I said, I've heard good things, and so I'm kind of trusting some other people's opinions, and I'm excited to get to it. I also brought A Fair Fight, this is Amanda Nelson's, one of her picks for the best books of 2015 so far. She's a writer over at Bookright who I really admire and who I follow, and whose opinion I really trust. Basically, the sell line for this is Suffragettes meets Fight Club. It is about a ring of underground bare knuckle boxers. I think that's what they are. I think they're bare knuckle. They might just be... Oh, I think there's boxers. Yeah. Basically, it's about two women, both of whom find themselves in the fighting ring, one of whom was born rich, one of whom was born poor. They each have other, also separate issues that they're dealing with. But really, how do you beat a cell line that includes Fight Club and ladies? That's ringing so many of my buttons. I'm so excited to get into this. I haven't read a historical fiction in forever, and I'm really, really excited that this is the next one up on the list. How many times can I say excited in a video, by the way, guys? I'm sorry. This is what happens when I don't do one of these for forever, and then I'm just like so overwhelmed with emotion that I can't even use words correctly. To throw a graphic novel in there, because we haven't talked about a graphic novel yet, I saw this over on Nicole's channel, Nicole's Adventures in Science Fiction. It's Black Sad, and it is essentially a kind of like detective noir graphic novel, but everybody is cats or other various anthropomorphized animals. Here's a little bit of a brighter page where you can also see a little bit better some of the animals. That's really all that I know about it. Caitlin seemed to really like it. Our library had it, and I will read any graphic novel I can get my hands on, basically. I'm really excited for this one. I don't really, it's, other than that it's a detective story and that I like the drawing style, I don't know much about it, but I'm hoping everything works out. I tend to not like as much going into graphic novels blind as I do just like regular novels. So we'll see. But that is Black Sad by Juan Diaz Canales and Juanjo Guarnido? Sorry guys, you just watched me totally butcher that. My apologies. And because things are getting to be so super long, I'm only going to do one or two more in this half of the video. So I'll show you guys, I brought home Steven Erikson's Dead House Gates, which is the next book in the Malazan Book of the Fallen series that I am reading with a bunch of people. Sam and Connor, as well as Caitlin and Michael are chiming in. I'm not quite sure when we'll get to this. I'm thinking either the beginning or middle of August, because it's even bigger than the last one, and from what I've heard, the second one isn't everybody's cup of tea, so we will see. I really hope that this is actually the second one and not the third. Yeah, it's book 2. Okay, good. I was really scared there for a second that I was going to be holding this one and talking about the second one and it was going to be the third one. But it's not. It's the second one, Dead House Gates, Steven Erikson. And lastly, I brought home Arabah by Clive Barker. This is another, my library considers it young adult fantasy, about essentially a series of islands where every island has a different hour of the day. And it's about this girl who goes there to kind of have adventures. Her name is Candy, and she's here to help save Arabah from the dark forces that are stirring at its heart. And I've just heard really good things about it. Apparently it's a series that he's kind of still writing, and one that people have been waiting a long time for him to finish up, which says good things about it. Any fantasy series that can keep readers hooked over a long period of time generally works out well for me. I also really like the concept, but I've never read anything by Clive Barker, so fingers are crossed. And that is going to be all for this first half of the library loot. Check back in a couple of days and I will show you guys what else I have brought home from the library with me. As always, like, subscribe, and comment down below to let me know what you think of the books I just got done showing you. I will see you guys around the internet and have a great day. Bye.